Video right now. Hello, this is Christian Wazinger, San Diego hypnotherapist. If you're watching this video right now, hello, this is Christian Wazinger, a San Diego hypnotherapist. If you're watching this video right now, okay, start over. Hello, this is Christian Wazinger, San Diego hypnotherapist. If you're watching this video right now, you either searched on YouTube or perhaps you landed on my website, www.thenlpexpert.com, and you are perhaps interested in quitting smoking and using hypnosis to do so. Number one, congratulations on having made the decision to become a non-smoker. You may have done some research online already, and perhaps you have tried to quit on your own before. Maybe you have used the patch, the gum, some prescription drugs, but still haven't quite kicked the habit yet. Well, I'm here to share with you what I've been doing for more than a decade. I've been using hypnosis to help people just like you finally kick the habit and quit smoking. Now you may wonder, how does it all work? Good question. I am here to share with you how my program works, and my success rate is extremely high using this. I've been using and defining this method for over 10 years now. I see everyone for at least 2 appointments, for 2 sessions. And the first time I meet with you, I will ask you a lot of questions about your smoking habit. And I say habit for a reason, because I don't believe in smoking being an addiction. I really talk about it as a habit. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, especially the medical community, especially the people that want to sell you medication or something else. The reason why I say that smoking is not an addiction is it doesn't fall into the classic definition of an addiction. If you think of the addiction of heroin, for example, you will need more and more of that substance to get the same high. Or the time frame between shooting up or using or whatever you want to call it will be shorter and shorter. A heroin addict or a crystal meth addict, they will eventually have problems sleeping through the night without needing to have a fix. Well, you can sleep through the night and be just fine as a smoker. Perhaps you have been smoking for many years and you've never increased how much you smoked. Maybe it's a pack a day and that's as far as you go. So there's many reasons why smoking does not fall into that typical category of an addiction. Also, the other difference is that nicotine attacks different chemicals in your brain, from methamphetamines, for example, or heroin. So I do not look at smoking as an addiction, but as a habit. So we are dealing with smoking as a habit in hypnosis. Now, this is a really, really effective approach. So in the first session, I will ask you, as I said, a lot of questions about your habit and your routines. You have specific routines around smoking. Where do you have your first cigarette in the morning? You probably have specific smoking spots where you always smoke. You may have some rituals. You smoke with coffee. You smoke while you have a glass of wine. Maybe you smoke with others. Whatever your rituals are and habits are, so I will ask you questions about them, because that's important, because we're changing that habit now for you. Then also, I will explain to you much more in detail about the subconscious mind, what the subconscious mind is here to do, what is its purpose, but also how does the subconscious mind work. It works very, very differently from the conscious mind. So for example, the subconscious mind doesn't know a negative. What do I mean by that? Don't think of a cookie. You thought of a cookie, didn't you? So the subconscious mind doesn't know a negative. In the past, you probably have done a lot of harm telling yourself, I'm not going to smoke anymore, I'm not going to have any cigarettes, I'm giving up cigarettes, I'm quitting smoking. Well, all the mind really heard was smoking and cigarettes, cigarettes, smoking, and you probably went to the corner store to get a pack of cigarettes, or you lit up and you smoked more than you did before. So there are a lot of things that you have probably done in the past that sabotaged you from being successful in quitting smoking. So we'll talk about those things in your session, your first appointment. We'll talk about what the subconscious mind does and how it operates. And we'll also explore a little bit about hypnosis and what hypnosis is. There are so many misconceptions out about hypnosis. A lot of people are afraid that they're giving up power or control. And I always say, if I could control people, we would have world peace and we wouldn't have poverty. I have no powers over you or over your mind. And that is why it is important that you will have to want to stop and you want to do it for yourself. So we'll talk about all of the things, the facts, everything you need to know about hypnosis, what it isn't, and the fears and misconceptions of hypnosis. Once we've done that, once we've answered all your questions, we also want to make sure that your environment is smoke free. So you're going to get rid of all of your cigarettes, whether you do it here in the office or even better do it before you come in, so that when you leave my office, you go back to the life of a non-smoker, so there is no temptation around. Once all your questions have been answered and you start feeling very comfortable with the process, then it's time for you to do hypnosis. And I promise you, it will be the most experienced, the most relaxed experience ever. Hypnosis is amazingly relaxing. You will absolutely love it. So in the hypnosis session, you will get lots of positive suggestions to be a non-smoker, to change that habit. Most people will leave my office after the first session a non-smoker. However, I do want to see everyone back for a second session, the follow-up, and that's really how I know why and how my program is so successful, because I do see everyone back, and I love, 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 love hearing all the success stories. Between your sessions, you will listen to audio recordings. I will give those to you, and you listen to one a day. And those recordings are just here to reinforce the suggestions that you have gotten in your session. The first session will spend about 90 minutes together. Then the follow-up session will be about a week later. I do encourage and ask you to stay away from alcohol for the first 4 to 5 days. Reason why: alcohol can be a trigger for a lot of people, and it takes your body about 4 to 5 days to eliminate all the nicotine that is within your system. The follow-up session is usually a shorter one. It can be anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. Sometimes I do hypnosis, sometimes we don't do hypnosis. It depends on the individual person. If I feel I should reinforce some of the suggestions, we will do that. Most times, however, people come back for the follow-up session and tell me, you know what, I haven't had any cigarettes. I've thought about every now and then a cigarette, but I didn't act upon it. And that's a normal thing. The thoughts still will be there in the beginning, because cigarettes have been a part of your life for a long time. A lot of people tell me it has been like a friend, and they're losing a friend. Well, when you lose a friend, or let's just say you lose a pet, a dog, of course you're going to think of that dog, because it has been part of your life for so many years, but you're not going to go out there and walk a leash all on its own. So it's only natural, and those thoughts, they will go away, and every day becomes easier and much better. And let's lastly talk a little bit about why do people smoke, and that will make also a lot of sense and will help you to choose the right method for you to quit smoking now. Why do people smoke? Number one, a lot of people say, well, it relaxes me. If you think about that, that doesn't really work that way, because nicotine is a stimulant. It is not a relaxant. So when you smoke, your blood pressure goes up, your pulse rate goes up, and it's not really relaxing in any sense physically. However, you do feel better after smoking a cigarette, and here's the reason why. When you're nervous, when you're stressed, tense, anxious, whatever the feelings are, or in the need of a break or relaxation, that nervousness, your heart beats faster, your breathing speeds up, you breathe higher in your chest, and you breathe faster. So now what you do when you have a cigarette, number one, most everyone walks outside. So now you remove yourself from the source of stress, whether that's reading an email or a conversation with a spouse or a meeting that was stressful. So you physically remove yourself from the situation, and that is already relaxing you because you're no longer around the source. So that's number one. And then number two, when you smoke, you change your breathing pattern. You breathe very deeply, you inhale and exhale, and you're much more consciously aware of your breathing. So it is these two facts, they're my fingers, those two facts that really relax you. It's not the fact that you're inhaling a bunch of chemicals that are harmful to your body. It is the fact that you remove yourself from the source of stress, and also that you pay attention to your breathing. So that's one reason why people smoke. Another reason why people smoke is because it gives them a break. It could mark the end of a project. So you may say, well, after I'm done with this project, I'm going to get a cigarette. Or every day at work, at a certain time, you just want to have a break and you give yourself that cigarette break. Now, it's not that you want a cigarette, it is that you want what the cigarette does for you. And what it does, it gives you a break, it gives you an out. So the cigarette really is just a means to an end. But the end is not the cigarette, the end is relaxation. So in your first session, we'll talk about how you can replace the cigarette with something else. So the means to an end. You still want to experience the end. You still want to have a break. But you do not need the excuse of smoking or cigarette as an excuse. You deserve a break. You just get to have a break in different ways now. So here are just some of the thoughts about hypnosis and how effective it is to quit smoking. And very, very quickly, last but not least, what is hypnosis really? Hypnosis is when information or suggestion bypass the critical part of your conscious mind, enter into the subconscious, and then the subconscious responds to that suggestion as if it were real. That is what hypnosis is. And you have experienced hypnosis many times before. It is very much like watching a movie. And let's just say it's a sad movie and you start to cry. Well, consciously you know you do not need to cry because this movie is not real. But guess what? At that point, when you watch the movie, you're actually in a trance-like state. You're in a hypnotic state. We also call it waken hypnosis or everyday hypnosis. And your mind responds, your physical response is as if the movie were real and you start to cry. That is what hypnosis really is. And everyone can experience it. Using hypnosis to quit smoking is incredibly effective. So I hope that this video was informative for you. There is so much more I would love to tell you, and hopefully I get the chance to do that in person. If you are ready to become a non-smoker today, go ahead, either call me or book an appointment through my website. My website is www.thenlpexpert.com. There's also a link to my website below this YouTube video. You can simply go to book appointment, go to that tab, click on it, and you can book an appointment right through my website. Very, very easy. If you prefer to call me, you can reach me at 619-990-0311. I'm happy to answer any more questions that you may have, and also happy to set up your appointment so that you can become a non-smoker now too. That's it for today. I wish you a wonderful, happy, and healthy day.